guys, welcome back to the channel. Porsche in the driveway. Last video we put this thing up for sale and it has sold. So this is going to be a little overview of the whole sale process, how I sold this car. We'll go over the numbers, tell you how much we lost or made, and yeah, so stick around. So guys, I listed this about 4 weeks ago on Facebook Marketplace. That's the only place I listed it besides the YouTube video I did on it. And got a handful of offers that were pretty low. I had one dealership up in Minneapolis that wanted some details, and I said I have to have $110,000, and then they ghosted me, so they weren't interested. And then here last week I got another message. I didn't know they were a dealer at first, and basically I said the same thing, need 110. They came back a day later and said, well, we can do $107,000. And so I was like, yeah, that's getting closer. I didn't say anything back to them for a while, and they came back and said, we can come up to 108. So I'm like, 108, maybe we can make that work. I had it listed for $112,000, and 110 was really the number I wanted. 108 was pretty close. So I said, I think we can make a deal at 108. And then that's when it came to light that this was another dealer. It was actually the Porsche dealer out of Omaha, Nebraska. So that's the dealer that I go to on the regular. And yeah, so it's pretty close, 100 miles from home here. And so we're making a deal with Porsche of Omaha to sell the car. So it's gonna kind of be like a trade-in minus not receiving a car. So basically I'm trading the car to them, not getting a car, just getting money in return. I did have a loan on the car, so they're gonna pay all that off, and then I'll get the difference back in a check. So that'll work out well for me. If I sold it private party, I was gonna have to get a check from them, deposit it, go pay off the bank loan, then get the title. But since it's a dealer, they're gonna handle all that for me. So that'll be a little bit easier just in that aspect of it. So I've had this car for a year and a half, and we put just over 6,000 miles on it. We took it to down to Eureka Springs for Porsche Palooza last year, and we've had some good times with it. So put on a few miles, got to enjoy it. But yeah, we're gonna get into the numbers now and tell you how much it cost me to own a 911 GTS convertible for a year and a half. So when I bought this car, it was January of 2025, so the middle of winter. And I actually found it right when it got listed from Auto Nation out of Texas. And when I bought it, it was $100,000 even, plus tax, title, license, all that fun stuff. But so basically 100 grand, purchased it a year and a half ago, and obviously we sold it for more than that. Alright guys, so when we bought the car, we had a 6% interest rate, and so over that year and a half I've paid in $6,000 in interest on the loan. So if you add that to the $100,000 purchase price, we're at $106,000. And like we talked about in the beginning, I ended up selling the car for $108,000. So basically we got to drive a Porsche 911 GTS for a year and a half, put 6,000 miles on it, and we're coming out a little bit ahead. So I can't complain with those numbers. And Porsche prices, just 911s in general, even Boxsters and Caymans are just extraordinary right now. Way high compared to where they were a couple years ago, and a lot of that has to do with tariffs and just other things like EVs coming into play. Like they're technically not even making the Boxster and Cayman the next year, so a lot of variables there keeping the prices high. So guys, what I've learned after owning 6 Porsches is if you want to own one that's gonna like hold its value or go up possibly in value, it needs to be a special Porsche, one that's higher spec, more desirable. And a lot of those cars are the GT cars, of course, that hold their value, GT3s and 4s and RSs and all that. But this one, I don't really classify it a GT car. It's right on the edge there. It's a GTS, but it is more desirable because it is a GTS. So with it being the GTS model, it's pretty much got all the options that you want standard. So this has like the adjustable suspension, it has the memory seats, and the red stitching, now Alcantara, all that good stuff, center lock wheels. So it is somewhat more desirable just because of that. It did help that this is chalk color, so that's an extra add-on price to get chalk. It definitely was my dream spec color, so I finally owned a Porsche in the color that I would order one in. So that's fun. Super awesome cars that hold value, that you don't have to worry about crazy depreciation. Yes, if it's a standard one, they're going to lose a little bit, but in the grand scheme of things, a 911 I don't think you can go wrong with. So guys, I'm going to wait to post this video until they receive the title and I get my check in the mail, and then I'll finish out this video here showing you that yes, I did get paid, and then I want to show you guys the price that they end up listing this car for. My guess right now is I think they're going to list it for $125,000. On the Carfax report, it actually said that the retail value that it was worth was $119,000. So I thought my listing price at $112,000 was pretty fair. $108,000. I'm gonna take that because I paid $100,000 and move on to our next car. So right now I don't have anything definite in the works for another car. I think we're going to just save up some more money for a down payment after this one, and maybe look at buying another Porsche in the spring next year. Really, the bucket list car is a Spyder RS with the GT3 engine, so stay tuned for that. Maybe one of those will be coming to the channel next year. But if you haven't been watching my channel, we have the GT350R Shelby up for sale as well, and that is being sold next week. So both of my fun cars are going away, guys.
Alright guys, so it's been a few weeks, almost a month, and it is a lengthy process if you sell your car to a dealer, at least Porsche of Omaha. I ended up selling this to them on July 15th, and it is now August 14th. And the reason it's taking so long is they require the loan to be paid off, which that's their responsibility. They pay that off. They kind of dragged their feet on that. It was like a week before they even sent the payoff in, and then it took a couple more days to get to them, and then the loan company had to process that. So let's just say it was at least 10 to 12 days for that whole process to take effect, so super slow. And so that difference in a check, they wouldn't send that out until they received the title. So that whole 2-week process just to get the loan paid off, and then the bank has to release the title. It has to go through the state of Iowa, and then that Iowa has to send the title down to Porsche Omaha. Then they finally sent a check out once they received the title. So it was a whole month-long ordeal, and in the future at least I'll know how long it'll take, so I can be prepared to wait a month or just not sell it to a dealer next time around. So when you trade a car in, you really don't see all that timing on the back end, because they just let you take the new car and they do all that finance stuff and title work on the back end. So, but not so much when you just sell it directly to them. So, but yeah, here on the screen is just the listing. They didn't even have the car long enough to put a price on the website. So from what I'm gathering, they sold it for around $130,000. So they made quite a bit of money just for picking this car up from me and then flipping it right away. So that's kind of the numbers. 130, they made 22 grand and sold it to somebody before it really even went live on the website. So easy money for them. I got paid in the end, but kind of crappy that they basically have it sold to someone else and I still had to wait for my check. So, but yeah, that was the whole process of selling my 911 to Porsche of Omaha.
Today is another sad day. The Shelby GT350R, I just took it out of the garage for the last time. One of my most favorite cars I've ever owned is being sold today. So we're going to do just a little goodbye video here, so stick with us. So guys, we've enjoyed this thing for over 4 years. We put about 4,500 miles on it. Lots of content on this thing if you guys have been part of the channel. Definitely one of my most fun cars I've ever owned. I thought this was going to be a keeper, but things pop up. You need funds for other projects, and we're sad to see this one go, but we are going to move on from it. A guy from Kansas City is coming up to purchase this, and it'll go to a new home. So I can't foresee this being my last Shelby GT350R. Definitely have to have another one someday on the bucket list. A grabber lime. They only made like 30 of them, so it'd be pretty tough to find one of those. But that, or maybe like the Avalanche Gray, is another color that I'd be interested in. So guys, just a little bit about the sale on this thing. The only place we had it listed was Facebook Marketplace. It's about a month and a half we had it up for sale. And we've been working with this guy from Kansas City for a couple weeks here, and he's finally able to get up here and pick it up. So basically a cashier's check. We're going to go to the bank when he gets here, make sure that deposit goes well. But yeah, some of the numbers that we'll go over here on how much it cost to purchase back in 2022 when car prices were crazy, and what we sold it for now. So back in 2022, I picked this up from a Ford dealer in Wisconsin, and the price that I paid for it was $72,000. So that was actually $5 grand more than sticker on this thing. It was 67 and some change back in 2016 when this car was new. And they are still holding their value well, the R models for sure. So if you picked one of these things up new, you're still doing well. You're either even or maybe a little higher, just depending on what the spec is. So I think the guy's getting a fair deal. We ended up selling it for $68,000. So I got to enjoy a GT350R for 4 years, put 4,500 miles on it for $4,000. So I think that's a fair trade-off. I got more than $4,000 worth of fun out of it. So, and we really didn't do a whole lot to it. The only thing that I modded was the E85 ProFlex kit from Advanced Fuel Dynamics, and I've had that on here for 3 years. And I highly recommend it. If you have a GT350, even a regular Mustang, you can get this FlexFuel kit. You don't have to change injectors or anything. You just pop this kit on, and it basically will tune the ECU for the different levels of E85, and it is very noticeable on the GT350s. The car is just so much more angry when it's on full tank of E. So if you haven't done that, I highly recommend doing that for any of your naturally aspirated Mustangs. And obviously if you've got a supercharged one, it'll be even more crazy power gains if you can run that high octane E85.
Well guys, the GT350R has been picked up. I didn't get any video footage of them leaving, but it was a pretty straightforward transaction. They brought a cashier's check. We went to the bank, cashed the check. Money was in the bank the next day. Way quicker than selling the Porsche to Porsche Omaha. So private party sale for the win. But sad that the 911 and the GT350R are both gone. But that means we get to do some shopping now. So if you guys haven't already, please like and subscribe, and stay tuned for our next video, because you know I can't live without fun cars. So there'll be something new in the garage before you know it. Have a good one.